Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Double-L. I said so. I keep big bills up in my hood on the dirty like Bledsoe. Ain't got no twist in my head.
What's going on, everybody? It's your man Apollo. I'm back out here with my man Z. We got another episode of the Unfiltered Sports Podcast. Before we get started, this is our second time recording this. We had massive issues in the first video once we were done. So we had to delete, we had to set up, schedule, re-record again. So we know each other's list. So the video will be kind of awkward and we'll be kind of repeating ourselves. So we apologize for that. But this video, we are covering top 5 tight ends. We got the list. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the intro. We don't get copyrighted for that. Also, hopefully, we don't get copyrighted for the little highlight snippets I will put in when we mention the tight ends in our top 5 list. But before we get started, like it says in the top center, I know it's kind of hard to see, be sure to follow us on social media. We have a Facebook page, Unfiltered Sports Podcast. Find me on all social media platforms. Links will be in the description. But thank y'all so much for coming through. Z's in the house. He has his hot take ready. I'm in the house. I'm ready for the Z's hot take. We about to get this thing started. So without further ado, let's just roll right into the list, y'all. All right, Z, who you got, man?
Well, I just want to say again, introduce, or say hi to everyone. And then apologize for the second recording of this because it's kind of awkward when we both know the list.
Yeah, so awkward.
And the first recording we had, we didn't do honorable mentions, but yesterday we kept saying his name, and I feel like he does deserve a little bit of a shout out, even though he's never played a snap in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Pitts.
Definitely. Definitely, man.
We hope that he's going to be the next guy. We know sometimes that players just don't make it in the NFL. We understand that too. And then the list that I did, I asked myself, can they block, can they catch, and can they change the entirety of the game?
Yes.
Because there's tight ends that just block. There's tight ends that just catch. So that's kind of one of those things that I wanted to look at when I did this list.
No doubt. And my list is kind of based on can they just break the game open? Can they take over when you need it? And I said Z's lists are much more in-depth, but my list, when we get to top 5 defensive backs, that is when I'll go very in-depth because I play defensive back. So that's, for me, will be a special, and that'll be, of course, toward the end of this series, leading up to the season. But, Z, man, the floor is yours, man. Go ahead.
All right, so my number 5, this is going to make a lot of people upset. Mike Gesicki.
Mike Gesicki, hold on. Cue the hot take.
So, Mike Gesicki, right? Mm-hmm. He's more than likely always overlooked because of where he's at.
Yeah.
In Miami, you really don't hear a lot about their offense. Especially the last few seasons, it was all about their defensive line and how their defense was elite and doing all this stuff. So I feel like Gesicki kind of got lost there, but he can be that blocker. He can be that catcher, and he can change a game.
I agree.
And I feel like it's going to be 100% reliant on Tua. Is Tua going to be the guy for Miami? And right now, I don't think he is. And I'm hoping that Mike Gesicki, once he gets into free agency, he comes over to Buffalo. that would be.
I think that would be a great fit. I think that'd be a great fit.
Oh yeah, especially because Buffalo's holding on to Dawson Knox, and I like the guy. I do. He can make those big plays.
Yeah.
But that's if he catches the ball.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's his biggest weakness is that he doesn't have soft hands.
Yeah. I agree. My number 5, guys, I got Evan Ingram of the New York Giants. I think he's just a little bit shorter version of Kyle Pitts, but he's pretty much what Kyle Pitts is. That hybrid freak athlete at tight end, big, fast, strong, can just break the game wide open. Like, Evan Ingram is a special talent. I honestly despite being a Cowboys fan and just despising the Giants, I feel like the Giants are wasting him away because Daniel Jones, unless he takes the next step, just like Josh Allen did, Evan Ingram will be wasted away. I don't want to see a talent with a guy the caliber of him wasted away in New York. Like, I would love to see Evan Ingram, I know he's retired now, but like with Drew Brees. Or I would love to see Evan Ingram with Aaron Rodgers. You know,
That'd be interesting.
yeah, or Russell Wilson. Put him with a quarterback who you can count on to win you some games, and then you put him with, so he could develop. Oh, well, damn. We may be talking about Evan Ingram as a top 10, maybe top 5 tight end of all time. Just on, what's that word I'm looking for? When they talk
Talent?
No, potential. In terms of potential, because he has all the tools and all the skills to do that. I mean, he's basically an oversized Shannon Sharp. He's legit Shannon Sharp that is the size of a tight end. Like, Shannon Sharp today would not be a tight end. He would be a wide receiver. He's like same size as A.J. Brown. But somehow Shannon Sharp made it work in a more physical, run-heavy era, being undersized at tight end. But I think Evan Ingram can be that. He just needs a better quarterback and a better organization that knows how to use him better. That's my personal opinion. But that's my number 5. Number 4, I think we had We both had Darren Waller?
Yep, we had Darren Waller of the
Darren
Raiders.
Waller. Yeah.
I mean, he really, dude, he can do it all, man. He's another one that he just does it all. And again, with like Mike Gesicki, he's in a place where he doesn't get recognized for what he does or what he is.
At all.
And, you see kind of some highlights from him, from time to time, with Derek Carr and him. And I mean, he doesn't get the recognition that he deserves,
Yeah.
And I just like what you're saying with Ingram, dude, if he went to a different team, dude, he would be the fucking man.
Exactly.
And we talked about this a lot. I wish the other podcast didn't get freaking messed up, but
I know, man.
We talked a lot about how he can change a game.
He can.
And it really relies again on his quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about, is Derek Carr really the guy? Because I mean, he can make numbers and he can win games, but did he rely on that defense too much?
Yeah.
And
I think Darren Waller is being wasted away, and now in Las Vegas as well. And like you said, he goes under the radar because unless you're a hardcore football junkie like us two, and more people who will watch this video, you probably like, who the hell is Darren Waller? Let me Google that guy. Because when you think of tight ends, you automatically think of Kelsey and Kittle. Those are two big names. Outside of that, if you're a casual, you couldn't name any tight ends after that because you're just like, oh, there's just another big guy in a uniform. Well, Darren Waller is a hell of a talent. And for me to go on and just praise Evan Ingram the way I did and then put Darren Waller above him says a lot about what Darren Waller can do and what he is doing in I almost said Oakland, so used to them, in Las Vegas. And look how he helped Derek Carr. Like, Derek Carr is not a scrub, but Derek Carr is not an elite quarterback. No disrespect. But if you take Darren Waller away, Derek Carr would have and he's already proven this, subpar numbers. Like, completely. Like we said, if you take Darren Waller, put him with Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Patrick, well, you can't say Mahomes because he has Kelsey.
Yeah, you can't say Mahomes.
You can't say Mahomes. I mean,
he's got one of the best in the game.
Yeah, so it's like you put him.
You can't just be that.
Yeah,
lucky,
you put him with one of these elite quarterbacks. Hell, Josh Allen now. Josh Allen is an elite quarterback to me. You gotta believe that guy, his game will be elevated like so much. He's another one. They're just being wasted away. I don't care about Spider Y2 Banana. You need to Spider Y2 the ball in Darren Waller's hands and let him make plays. The guy is a playmaker at the tight end position, which these days is a huge asset.
Oh yeah, well I mean, think about
especially
it,
to
man.
a
You got
championship
guys.
team.
Well, you got guys out there like wide receiver, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you add that 20 to 30 to 40 pounds on him, and you got a tight end, but the guy can block too. So I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like even with Darren Waller, even if you don't give him the ball, he can make that huge block halfway down the field because he is a fast guy.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's one of the things that maybe tight ends weren't utilized enough back in the day,
I
where it
agree.
was a run-heavy league, and
I agree.
that's why we're having guys like Gronkowski. We talked about him. I mean, the guy broke the NFL when he was young, and I mean, he's just so big, and he was just able to catch the ball in just ridiculous manners.
He was. And like we said yesterday, and the video got messed up, how Gronk basically revolutionized the tight end position. Now,
Yep.
some people will say, well, what about Tony Gonzalez? Look, Tony Gonzalez was great. He's a Hall of Famer. One of the greatest to ever play that position. Tony Gonzalez ain't, look, Gronk's best day, Tony G's best day, I'm sorry. Give me Rob Gronkowski. Shannon Sharp himself even said it. At his best, Rob Gronkowski is probably the greatest tight end ever. And that's coming from a man who played the position and is in the Hall of Fame at that position. So clearly, Shannon Sharp, his words hold weight to that statement.
Yeah, for sure.
Rob Gronkowski can catch, can run routes.
Let's see here. I think, if I'm not mistaken,
He can block. I mean, what? There is no weakness. Tony Gonzalez, as great as he is at catching the football, if he was to go to a team like the Patriots and be used in that way, for the most part, his numbers would be diminished and he would be kind of neutralized.
It's funny though when we look at it. Now, I thought he had a little less than this, but he has 4 Super Bowl rings.
Yeah.
That's a lot to say about.
That says a lot. I mean, yeah, and I know it's not Tony G's fault that he never got to Super Bowl, but can we look back and say, man, in the playoff game, Tony Gonzalez took over? We can say that about Gronk.
Oh yeah, every day.
And they, like, these defenses would scheme to stop Gronk because outside of Randy Moss, who Gronk wasn't there at the time, you can't name another top receiver Tom Brady has had to help take the load off of Gronk. He never had that. And Gronk still produced the way he did.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, man, is people are going to sit there and say, oh, what about Danny Amendola or Edelman? And, but those guys, like, I don't think people realize how much of a factor Gronkowski was.
Yeah.
To get those guys, to get those numbers that they had.
I agree. But us saying this, especially saying that, I mean, some people will probably say, like, yeah, I could see a scenario where Gronk would be considered better than Tony G, but a lot of, like, probably more fans a little bit around our age, a little bit older, will probably say, like, that's disrespectful to say Tony G is not better than Gronk. But when you just look at just the game of football and how Gronk just impacts the game and everything he can do, you can't tell me. Now, don't get me wrong. If I got to pick Tony Gonzalez, I'm going to take Tony mother flipping Gonzalez. But Rob Gronkowski and Tony G, gun to my head, about to die, I'm taking Gronk every day. All day.
Yeah,
It's not even going to hesitate.
Especially when you talk about Gronk in his heyday, in his prime. Because, I mean, he wasn't as non-injury prone as Gonzalez,
Yeah.
where Gonzalez was Mr. Reliable and you can always count on him to be in the game.
I agree.
Where Gronk was, you throw the ball up to me, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get that ball.
Yes.
And I'm going to put my body on the line. And I feel like that's the major difference between the two is that, dude, he made those plays, man. And then if you gave him the ball, he would just run it down your throat.
I agree.
Now, of course, he's not the same guy. We've seen it this year with the Bucks. He's not the same guy, but he can still catch.
He can still. No, he's not the same guy. But if you need him to be a guy for that game, for a game where you need him to be that guy, he'll still be that guy. But we didn't segue completely off, just like we did yesterday. We started talking about Gronk and
but at least we're talking about tight ends, though.
Yeah, you're right. Ends. But we just completely got off track.
All right.
So at number 3,
I think we had the same for number 3 too.
Mark Andrews.
Yeah, Mark Andrews. And this is another interesting one to me.
Yeah.
First, he's still extremely young.
Extremely young.
You're talking third season. He usually averages around anywhere between 600 to 700 yards per season, and usually gets in the double digits with touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good for a guy who is Lamar Jackson's number 1, And then, the biggest thing with him that I think that most of these guys on this list don't have is that he is really good at that fake block where he looks like he's going to set up to block him, and then he cuts.
Yeah, that block and release by him is amazing.
He's still young, man, and I think he's going to be, the next Travis Kelce, the next George Kittle, the next Gronkowski. I mean, he really does command that much.
He does, and it's only going to help Lamar. Now, of course, like we said yesterday, Lamar needs to take that step too and develop with him. And also, I think, like we said yesterday, or more that I said, they need to open up the playbook.
Yeah.
They need to. The playbook is way too simplified to have a talent like Lamar at quarterback and Mark Andrews at tight end. Like I said yesterday, we don't really know how good Hollywood Brown is, and we can't use his size as an excuse because I named off receivers yesterday: Antonio Brown, Steve Smith, Marvin Harrison is another one. Those are guys who are they're not big dudes. They're normal. If you saw them on the street, you're like, he play football? They're normal looking guys. They're fit, obviously, but they're just normal size, and they made an impact on the game.
Yep.
So I'm not going to hold Hollywood Brown's size against him. But the playbook is not open to, I say this all the time, and I said it yesterday, and I said it in our top 10 quarterbacks video. Look at Lamar Jackson's Louisville highlights. Look how much he was not in the pistol. He was in shotgun, receivers all over the field, okay? And he had a lot of touchdowns. So that's a lot of highlights where he is in just these old wide open sets. Baltimore keeps putting him in these tight, enclosed, heavy jumbo sets. Yep. Defenses they caught on. They know you take away Mark Andrews in the middle of the field, you've neutralized Lamar Jackson and Andrews too. Even though Andrews, we've seen him make amazing catches in traffic and over defenders.
Yep.
You're not utilizing him to his full potential. You're limiting him. So, who is it? I think their coordinator is Greg Roman, whoever he is. You need to open up the playbook. Lamar, I have faith and confidence that he will and has developed more with Andrews, with Hollywood, with that rookie receiver they got, who I forgot his name, but I think he'll help as well. J.K. Dobbins is only going to get better because he was a beast at Ohio State. Hopefully, Mark Ingram stays healthy.
And we talked about this too, not to get off too tangent, Lamar has developed this thing now where he'd rather run the ball first. That was one of the biggest things we talked about yesterday.
Yeah.
He gets this thing, instead of that, hey, maybe if I sit in the pocket just a second longer, just a tad longer, maybe my receiver will get open finally.
Yeah.
He just takes off. I'm going to run down the field. And, I mean, the thing is, he's so quick, you can't really stop him.
Yeah, you can't. And you can't blame him because right now, at his young age, he has those fresh legs. He can still do that. If he was Lamar and he was like 32, 33, I think he would second guess that. But maybe Lamar needs to do what Michael Vick did in Philly. He needs to develop that passing game. You can still run and be a threat, but you need to develop that passing game now. Don't wait till in your 30s. Do that shit now.
And I think that's the major reason why Mark Andrews is number 3, man, because if Lamar gets to that next step with that throwing, man, it's going to be Mark Andrews. It's not going to be Hollywood Brown. It's not going to be some other wide receiver. It's going to be the guy that's in the middle of the field to make that easy pass because he's so big of a guy.
Yeah.
And, they always usually run that freaking 2 to 3 tight end look as well, where, it gives Andrews that perfect ability to be that guy for Lamar.
I agree. Plus, we also put him in number 3 because if you take Andrews away from Lamar, how effective will Lamar Jackson be?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't think
that's how much of an impact Andrews gives Lamar.
Well, look at it this way. Last year, Lamar Jackson only had like 2,700 receiving yards, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm going to bring up the actual stats before people, get upset and up in arms on us.
It's not what he said the wrong thing.
Well, we know that his last season was not the greatest season of him, but that's because he relied on the run.
Yeah, like I said, I think the playbook I think they need to put Lamar in a situation where he has to throw it more. Don't put him in a situation where he has to run or these RPOs.
Yeah.
Put him in a more pass. How can I say it? Put him in a pass situation even more. So
last season he had 2,757 passing yards.
That's like a whole 1,000 down from his MVP season.
Yeah, no, his MVP season he only threw for 400 more yards than that.
Okay.
But the thing when it comes down to it, man, when you're so reliant on running, it takes a hit on that ability to have that long shot down the field.
I agree.
Because they're always going to be prepared to sack you.
Yeah.
They're always going to be locked in, and they're like, oh, wait. And the thing was, man, his sack went way up because of that fact. I really do believe that if he would have had the ability for Greg Roman to just be like, hey, you know what, man, we're gonna get you a little bit more pass heavy this week. Just change it up just 1 or 2 weeks, man. They would have been done, man.
I agree,
Salt
man.
it up a little bit, and I feel like of those yards, 750 of them went to Mark Andrews, man.
Yeah.
So you take Mark Andrews out, dude, that's almost an entire third of his passing yards for that season.
I agree, man.
Yeah, that Mark Andrews, man, he really is an effective tight end, and we'll see what happens with him, man. I feel like he's going to be the next Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I agree, and I know yesterday our 1 and 2 they were switched, but I've had time to think about it, and I'm going to agree with you. Switch my 1, put him 2, put my 2, make him 1. Y'all already know who the top 2 are. It's Kittle and Kelce. Yeah. It was a matter of who's 1, who's 2. Yesterday I had Kelce 1, Z had Kittle 1. Today I'm putting Kittle 1, Kelce 2.
And it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I'm gonna use my argument that I used earlier with the Gronk and Tony Gonzalez. Kittle is more Gronk. Kelce is more Tony G, which ironically they both played for the Chiefs. So that's crazy. But go ahead, man. Yeah. State your place.
So when we talk about Travis Kelce, right? He is. We talked about it previous videos in our wide receiver last week. Check that video out.
Yeah.
Without Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes is not as good as he is. He is half of the passing game. Literally half of the passing game goes to Travis Kelce, which is mind blowing.
All the Chiefs fans have pitchforks right now.
Oh yeah, but it's the truth though. It's the truth. You have Travis Kelce, and then you have Hill, and then who? Nicole Hardman.
Middle of the road at best.
True.
And people take that as disrespect. Like Nicole Hardman is not an elite receiver. Yeah, he's the number 2, but still. You don't fear. He is blazing fast, but you don't fear him. If Travis Kelce was hurt and you neutralize Tyreek Hill or vice versa with those two, Kansas City will struggle. I don't care how healthy their offensive line is because who the hell is Mahomes going to throw to?
Yeah. And it's Mahomes, man. He can make a play, but it's Travis Kelce, man. There's a huge difference when Travis Kelce has the ball. And Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, man, will put the burners on you, but you can tackle him.
Yeah, you can tackle him. You're not tackling Kelce.
You ain't tackling Kelce.
Yeah, he's going to get some extra yards. Like he's a big body out there, and he's a mismatch in the red zone. And I say this about these big tight ends. You can split Kelsey out wide. I mean, if you put a linebacker on him, Kelsey's quicker than that guy. So he's going to beat him to the end zone, especially on like a slant. If you put a corner or a safety on him, just throw the ball in the air. You don't have Travis Kelsey 6'6", 6'7", the tallest defensive back, who's a rookie for the Cowboys, who's on Last Chance U. Shout out to y'all, by the way. He's like 6'4". But you're still giving up 3 inches. And Kelsey was a basketball player. So he already knows how to leverage his body to box you out like a rebound and then out jump you.
Yep.
So
not only that, Kelsey can stop on a dime, man. For a big guy.
For a big guy,
he can stop.
Yeah, he runs some good
and
routes.
And then just make you look like a fool.
He runs some crispy routes.
The biggest reason why we have Kelsey at number 2 versus number 1 is he does not block. He can.
No, he does. It's not that he doesn't block. He doesn't block as good as Kittle. Kittle is damn near an extra offensive lineman. He can just run routes and catch and run your ass over. That's the difference. George Kittle can do what Travis Kelsey does and more. Kelsey can just do what he does. He can block, but if you had to run heavy, like no disrespect to Kelsey, man.
Yeah, no disrespect him.
No sane football fanatic or junkie can look at film and say Travis Kelsey is a better blocker than George Kittle. You cannot say that.
Yeah.
You cannot, with a straight face, say that and mean it and not be on drugs. Like George Kittle is the premier blocking tight end, and he is also one of the top 2 elite tight ends in the whole damn league.
Yeah. Well, like I said, dude, you don't put Travis Kelsey on the line to block a ball.
Yeah.
Block for someone. You put him on the line to catch the goddamn ball because he is half of your offense.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, can you blame him though? And that's my thing. Dude, I would use the fuck out of Travis Kelsey if I had Travis Kelsey on my team.
I would too.
Like he can catch the ball and he has those soft hands, man, like that. The hands that you only wish the best wide receivers have, and he just has that ability. But like I said, you're not putting him out there to block for a play. You're going to change him out with one of your other tight ends. Whereas Kittle, you put Kittle in there because he will block.
Exactly.
And he will take 2 defensive linemen and make them regret their decision.
Exactly. Now, to what you said, if Kelsey was hurt, if I was a coach, now let's say I had a scenario where I had Kelsey and Kittle. If I had Travis Kelsey on my team, that mofo is leading the league in touchdowns. He gonna catch about 17 or 20 a season. Because as soon as we get in the red zone, put his ass out there one-on-one, good luck. Because I don't know what you think you're going to do. Because, he might not be the best blocker, but that don't make him weak. The man will out-muscle you. And if I had Kittle, we're going to have the number 1 run game. Oh, spoiler alert, San Francisco has one of the top rushing games in the league. So, now, not to say Kittle won't catch touchdowns. He'll still catch about 13 or 15, somewhere in there. But Kelsey, like you said, we don't put his ass in there to block. We put him in there to catch touchdowns. That's the different dynamic. Now, like I said, we're ranking them overall. Now, if we rank them in terms of who's the better receiving tight end or blocking tight end, then you got number 1 each respectively in that category. But overall, I had time to just digest how you explained it yesterday. And I got to agree with you. Kittle overall is a better tight end than Kelsey. But those 2, they're in a league of their own up here. They're the Rock and Stone Cold. They're in a league of their own, and you got everybody else down here.
Yep.
That's how it is. We finished this a lot faster than we did yesterday.
Yeah, well, to talk about Kittle, man, like I watched a highlight of him. It was just one play.
Mm-hmm.
It was 4-2. Jimmy G just threw it up in the air. I mean, it was a very short pass.
Yeah.
And Kittle went like 65 yards or 66 yards on the field. He had 6 guys tackle him. 6 guys.
Yeah.
You had half of the defense tackling him.
He is a monster. Like,
dude, once he gets going though, like, dude, it was so crazy because the one guy just kind of like held onto his jersey for dear life.
yeah.
And the only reason they got him down is because the guy face masked him and
Bro.
just ripped his head around to where he's like stopped because he's like, I can't break my neck.
Yeah.
And so it was like one of those things that, I mean, the foul got called, but I mean, could you imagine being that good of a football player? Like, once
right?
you get
Yeah.
moving,
Look,
like,
I
don't even think Derrick Henry's that good,
bro.
as a running back.
If
Like,
if I'm a defensive back or linebacker, no. No matter what I play on defense, if coach says I need you to go out there and guard Kelsey or go guard Kittle, my hand's gonna be a little sweaty. I know I'm in for a long fucking day, and if I'm a pass rusher and Kittle's on my side, I know I'm still in for a long day. Like, I'm not finna just be getting back in the backfield, teeing off on the quarterback. Because George Kittle ain't letting that happen.
no.
And like you said, Travis Kelce, they're going to split him out wide. Now, if you got a pass rusher, well, if you got Kelce out wide, who's on him? More than likely, if you got a linebacker, well, Kelce will just beat him inside, get a quick 5-6 yards. You know, you milking it down the field. If you don't have an elite pass rusher, well, whether you do or not, and you got Kelce on a defensive back, well, you already know who's winning that matchup. So it's like you choose your death, which either one of them. And like I said, man, they're on a whole nother fucking level from everybody.
Well, I feel
else.
like Kittle makes you regret tackling him.
He does.
Where
God.
Kelsey's like, I'm gonna make you regret trying to block the pass. You know,
Yeah,
and I feel like
yeah.
that's the difference because Kittle, man, dude, he'll make you regret the second that you touched it.
George,
Because, dude, I watched that highlight, dude. That after like the two cornerbacks, they're like, oh, I don't even know what I did.
George
like,
Kittle,
like,
George Kittle hurts you physically. Travis Kelce hurts you mentally.
yeah, exactly. Dude, that's the best way to put it. I just feel like it depends on what your defense is.
Yeah.
You know what? Because I feel like for Kittle, having a run defense would be better in your chance. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be better in your chance. Whereas, like, if you had a pass defense with Kelce, at least, you know, it's kind of one of those up in the air because realistically, man, you hardly ever get to Mahomes anyways.
Now, true.
So,
now to go back to Kelce real quick, if you have a player on defense like Devin White who can match Kelce for size, strength, speed, athleticism, then you may have a chance to contain him, not completely neutralize or shut him down, but you can contain him. But last I checked, Devin White ain't growing on a tree anywhere. That's a rarity for not only a man, but a football player, for someone to be his size and have his athletic attributes and abilities. Now, that's what we expect from the guy we drafted from Penn State in Dallas. Can he be Devin White? I don't know, because Devin White right now is on the trajectory just like.
Yeah, well, you know, I remember you can go back to our which you might want to include a link into it, but our pre-Super Bowl video.
Yeah.
And when I was talking about Devin White, you guys were kind of laughing at it, and I was like, "No, dude, this is the guy, man. Like, he is so like not a lot of people know about him, and he's the guy. Man.
We know about him now.
Scary.
Yeah, we know about him now.
He is just scary, freakishly talented. Dude, he reminds me a lot of Bruce Smith, man. Where it didn't matter where he was on the field, he'll get you, and he'll make you regret it. Dude.
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm coming to get you, and you better been prepared." Like, that's the kind of guy he is, because he's big and he's just there.
Yeah. So if you ain't got Devin White, which 31 other teams do not have, good luck guarding Travis Kelce or even George Kittle. I would love to see Devin White on George Kittle. Because that would be a just brutal.
I feel like that would be an interesting one, man. Like I said, when I seen that highlight, he had 6 guys on there. I was like, no freaking, dude, this is like blitz football, man. Like,
Yeah.
it was just crazy, dude. It just
Or even go back to what we were saying earlier. Put Devin White on a prime Rob Gronkowski. That matchup, I would love to see because we saw no linebacker with Devin White's ability try to guard Rob Gronkowski. That is something I would love to see.
Dude, I wonder because Devin White was a rookie this year, right?
This was his second year.
Let's look him up real quick.
Yeah, I think this was his second year. He's on his rookie deal. That's something we do know. He's on his rookie contract.
Yeah. We weren't thinking that we were talking about Devin White today, so
but it gave us something new.
2019, so that would have been his second season.
Yeah. Which is ridiculous. In his second season, we're already talking. Look, I'm just go ahead and tell y'all now. Devin White's probably gonna be number 1 on my top linebackers list. So, yeah. Spoiler alert when we get to that couple of videos. But, man, and his second season and already being talked about as the top linebacker in the game.
Dude, 23 years old, man. And
23!
Dude, who knows, man? Maybe the fact that Rob Gronkowski went to freaking the Bucs, man, maybe that changed the way that maybe it changed his trajectory, man. You never know.
I think so. Having Rob there, having Brady there, and everybody's coming back. Like,
well, dude, think about it, dude. When you talk about Rob Gronkowski and Tom Brady, right? They have before this season, they had 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
The amount of experience just between themselves,
them together.
With Tom Brady having 6. The amount of knowledge that they can bring to a field.
Exactly.
You know, like, hey, man, like O.J. Howard, for instance, you know, we were talking about him in the other video.
Yeah.
Rob could have been like, hey, man, you know, I noticed you doing, you know, this and that. This is how you know how to do it. You know, and then, like, stuff like that, man, we don't know because we're not there, you know? And a lot of these veteran players, dude, that is why veteran players get the recognition that they get.
It's true.
They may not be the best, but hey, if you've been in the NFL for 10 years, you've seen some shit and you know some stuff.
Exactly.
And I think that's something that a lot of teams are gone away from. Because, dude, some of these guys coming in, dude, they just take over. They take over and they just destroy the veteran locker room.
Yeah. This upcoming season is going to be very interesting because I feel like we have a large pool of teams where we can be like, that team could win, that team could win it, that team could win. I still think Tampa Bay is the team to beat because, I mean, they got everybody back and everybody only got better and Brady's going to be healthy, so.
I feel like the biggest threat for the Bucs, you can call it what you want. This is my prediction. It's going to be the Buffalo Bills, man.
But I agree. I said, did I not say Josh Allen's winning MVP? That's my MVP right there. Josh Allen is winning MVP this season. I'm calling it right now. I said it in the quarterback video. I'm saying it again here. Josh Allen's winning MVP.
So I think that, dude, honestly, man, if the Bucs go to the final, you know, they go to the Super Bowl, right? And the Bills face them in the Super Bowl, and let's say the 2019 season defense, which they're talking about right now, that the Bills defense is back on track from what it used to be. We're talking about, dude, some 2 Titans, dude, just fucking decking it out, dude.
The Bills can get them. The Bills can get them. They could get them.
Well,
shit.
What's scary about the Bills defense, though, is they're opportunistic.
Yeah.
You may not have every down where they're shutting down a team, but they'll intercept the ball in the end zone and run it back for 101 yards.
I agree. Totally.
You know, and make you look silly for ever doubting the fact that, hey, man, these guys are we're making it easy. They're making it easy for us to go down the field real quick.
Yeah.
So
I agree, man.
I feel like that's going to be a huge thing. You know, man, dude, we got a lot. Yeah, I can't wait for predictions.
I just I can't wait.
Predictions is going to be a fun one.
That season preview prediction video is going to be wow. That's going to be wild. But guys,
hey, just think, we got 4 weeks until preseason.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
I can't either.
I can't wait. Y'all, look at the guns though. That's courtesy of your man Z. He's been making me do push-ups.
Yeah, get the hell out of here.
Y'all, that's the video for today. Hopefully this turned out just fine. You know, I'm about to get off and go edit it. But guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Y'all be sure to let us know down in the comment section if you want to. Who do you have as your top 5 or 10 tight ends? Do you agree with my list or Z's list, which they were pretty much the same except for number 5? You know, who would you put in at number 5? Ingram or Gesicki? Y'all let us know down in the comments. Did we do somebody wrong, or were we wrong for leaving Gronk off? Is Gronk still top 5? Y'all let us know. But y'all be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the content. Once again, thank y'all so much. We are going to continue to try to upgrade and do our best to bring y'all the best sports experience from 2 knuckleheaded veterans that we can fucking bring, okay? Y'all see the links. Follow us on all social medias. Go find us on Facebook, the Facebook page. My man Z, that is his brainchild. He's running that. So all the clips and stuff will be up there by Z. Of course, you can follow me on my social media links. They'll be in the description. Guys, we're getting out of here. Y'all be safe. Take care. One love. All glory to God. We love y'all. Thank y'all so much. We're going to get at y'all next time, baby. Peace.